Hi, I'm Grace, and this is the Fighting Club, a space where being together makes us stronger. Take a break and hang out with me and my college bestie, Lena.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy to be here.
Yay! Lena is, yeah, as I mentioned, my college bestie. She's based in California, SoCal,
Mhm.
and is a therapist. And for the longest time, you and I didn't know what we studied and didn't know what kind of jobs we do.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like now I'm clear, I think.
I know, I had to confirm with you before that you were a therapist and doing family marriage therapy
We have to confirm with each other each time,
each
but
time.
it's all good because we know
Because
each
it
other.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like what our work is doesn't matter. It does not, it's not the point of our friendship or where it
yeah,
began.
exactly. It's never been the point.
It's never been the point. Um, So let's talk about the first time we met each other in college and what our first impressions were and what that was like back in Boston College in the
Do you
early
remember
2000s.
our first meeting?
Like, I don't remember the exact first meeting, but I do remember taking the Boston College shuttle service and then we were on our way to go to church.
Uh-huh.
So we'll take the shuttle to then get on the subway, the T, and then go to church in the city. So I remember that's where I got to talk to you more, and like it was the beginnings of what I felt like of a friendship.
Yeah,
That's what I remember as a
that's what I remember too.
Oh, you too?
Yeah. So I don't remember like the exact interaction of when we first met, but I
Yeah.
do remember talking to you on the bus. You were wearing a black leather jacket
Oh my gosh.
and you had long, wavy hair. Um, and I like could envision you in my head right now. And I
Oh
remember you just like asking a lot of questions. Um, Yeah, and just being like, oh wow, she really wants to know like the nitty gritty. Like she really wants to get to know me. I love that because you're
my.
like, yeah, you're more of like a get to know extroverted person, whereas I'm more introverted. And so I need kind of people like you to ask the
Um,
questions and kind of draw me out. And I remember thinking like, oh wow, she's asking so many questions about me. Like this is nice. But I also remember that leather jacket and the long
I think
hair.
I remember it. It was kind of long, right? A longer leather jacket and like smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth.
Yeah, I got it from my mom. It was like an adult leather jacket. It's so funny you remember that. It's like a very
Yeah.
unique outfit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's why I remember it.
Yeah. But then I'm wondering like what led to all the way like how we got closer and then we eventually became roommates after our freshman year for three
Mhm.
years in college and then in New York
Yeah.
too.
I really don't remember. I cannot recall how that happened.
I just think we spent a lot of time together through our Asian Christian fellowship on
Mhm.
campus.
Mhm.
And going to church together.
And
We're
we were
just like in the
church
same
hopping.
social. Oh, we went church hopping?
We were church hopping freshman year, and I think we were going to the same churches at the same time, making it a point maybe like to go together because we
Mm,
were at Cornerstone for a little bit and CPC
mm.
a little bit, and then we ended up at
City life.
Life. Yeah.
Do you have any like fun memories from our time at BC? Or memories that just kind of stick out at you? Because I can think of a few.
Really? My mind goes immediately to New York when I think about memories of us, but um
Uh,
I mean, yeah, we became roommates
uh-huh.
sophomore year and we're roommates all 3 years. I was super sad when you went to study abroad.
Oh
And
yeah, in
then
Spain. I went to
Barcelona, right?
Barcelona for a
Yeah.
semester.
And I missed you so much. I felt like there was like a part of my life missing when you were gone. Um,
Aw.
we
That was hard for me too. I was like so sad and depressed being in Barcelona. I feel so isolated.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
So we did a lot of cranium. We played cranium a lot with our
Oh
roommates.
yeah,
We
Mahjong.
Mahjong, Bachelor.
We watched Bachelor, and then Hung and I would watch the Victoria's Secret fashion show every year.
I think we did our own. catwalk thing too.
Oh,
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Down the hallway of our suite.
and we had an 8-person suite, so like that meant we had 6 other women,
Hmm.
4 other bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms. It was a lot of people
It
we
was a
had
lot of
to like
people.
interact with somehow.
Yeah. And there was some drama, I feel like
There's
senior
some drama,
year, but never between us.
never between us,
Um,
always with other people, and some
yeah,
unknown drama that I found
unknown
out
drama.
after we graduated. And I was just like,
Yep.
what? How come people didn't just tell me directly?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we went out a lot senior year.
Yeah, we went out a lot, especially once we turned 21, because I didn't drink at all until I turned 21.
Really?
I
Wait.
never drank. Do you think I did in college?
Well, because we were roommates sophomore, junior, and senior year. Did you not drink junior year?
I drank when I turned 21 when I went to Spain.
Oh, okay.
I drank a lot. It's like when I got exposed to alcohol for the first time because I turned
Oh,
21 and I partied a lot in Barcelona. It's like a party city. I think we had me and Sophia had a joint birthday party, a 21st birthday party, and I drank for the first time or something, but I never drank before 21. I was like grew up so strict about
mm-hmm.
alcohol that I waited until I turned 21 to drink.
Okay. And then you went buck wild after
And
that.
then I went buck wild because I had no like understanding and controlling and understanding of how to control like substance. So
Yeah, yeah. We
that's
had
the
fun.
problem. I was too oppressed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I just think about our time together, I
Yeah.
feel like we were kids
Yeah.
trying to be adults. You know what I mean? Like
In my leather jacket
immature,
my freshman year.
immature kids, like pretending or being in denial that we were responsible.
Yeah.
We weren't.
We were such children. But the story I remember that was kind of like it just stays in my as a core memory was on Harvard Ave, which is a popular like a bar hopping place. And there's a like 2 guys or a group of like guys walking past us.
Yes.
And they like yelled out to us like ni hao, I think. Really
Mhm.
racist. Like they're a
Yeah.
group of like white jocks, I think. And they're like ni hao. And
I was
then
like,
super
we're
surprised.
not Japanese.
And I was like, wait, Lena, that's
And didn't
Chinese, that's Mandarin.
and then didn't they say like, oh, then konnichiwa? And I was like, we're not Chinese either. Yikes.
I was like,
And
it's okay. I'm glad you spoke up, but like the cultures were and language was mixed up.
yeah, and I did not help, their further their knowledge either because they were more confused also.
But
Yeah.
I felt like that's your first time when you like spoke out against like people who are like verbally harassing us, like
Yeah,
because of our
yeah.
race.
Yeah, and I credit that to you because I feel like I've seen you do that a lot. And
Yeah,
so I think just being with you gave me more
yeah,
courage. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was
And I feel like,
so angry at racist people around us in college.
yeah, yeah. And I feel like that translated like in our life in New York too, right? I think we
Mhm.
were both more assertive,
That's true. We were more assertive.
professional.
Yeah, so college, I have like fond memories of just like spending time together and partying together, eating together, playing like board games.
Yeah.
I'm sure we studied.
We studied. We
Yeah.
were hard workers.
Yeah, I just don't remember that part
Uh-huh.
very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's transition to like going to New York and how do we end up in New York?
Well, you got a job
Oh
at
yeah.
Paul Weiss
Yes, I was a
as a
paralegal
paralegal.
because I wanted to be a lawyer, I thought.
Uh-huh. And I had no plans after graduating. I just wanted to be with you. I didn't want our time to
Oh.
end because it was so fun. So
Mm,
I basically just followed you to New York. I was like, I'm gonna live with Grace, be her roommate, and I'm gonna figure it out.
mm,
Um, Thankfully, I got a job soon after we got there.
mm.
But yeah, New York was a crazy time.
Yeah, I just remember we were homeless when we first got there and we had some of our upperclassmen folks who were already settled in New York and they let us stay at their place for a day or two.
Yeah,
Um, and then you got really sick when we were at a restaurant and you almost you passed out in the bathroom or something. Do you
I
remember this?
did. I did. I do. I passed out. I remember I came out and I was like, Grace, I'm not feeling well. I remember throwing up in the street before getting into the cab. This was like our first week in New York.
Yeah.
The cab driver drove us to Julia and Cheyenne's apartment because that's where
And
we were
Chili
staying.
China. Yeah.
And I couldn't even walk. And so the
Yeah.
cab driver had to carry me on his back. And I think they lived
On the walk up.
on the third floor or something. He
Yeah.
carried me on his back up to the third floor. I don't even know if we paid him because I was in so much pain. I was so out of it.
Yeah.
Um, and we after that we joked about how like the angels were, protecting us in our first week in New York. But that
I
was
really believe it because cab drivers in New York are not known to take care of people that way. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
felt like that really was an angel in form of a cab driver when you were
yeah.
just, you suddenly just got sick. It was during the day. It wasn't, you weren't drinking or anything. It was just
No,
suddenly
yeah,
you just like passed out and got really sick.
yeah. And I've had moments like that before, but I
Mm,
remember in the cab I was gripping the
mm.
door handle because I was in so much pain. And I remember the cab driver being like, "It's okay, we're almost there. Hang
Oh,
on." Like he was encouraging me. It was
oh,
great. Yeah, that was a really amazing way to start our first,
yeah.
week in New York.
Yeah, it was like such a welcoming, loving way to be embraced by the city.
Mhm.
That actually is not always so welcoming
Yeah,
and
yeah,
easy to adjust to.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I felt like the first 2 years of New York, we like hung out a lot and we had a lot of like college friends there and other people. Like I had my friends Priska and Christine in New York as well.
yeah.
But um, I remember feeling like so depressed, like running through Central Park because we were living in the Upper East Side and I was trying
Mhm.
to train for a half marathon. And then it was a beautiful sunny day, kind of like today actually in New York. And I just started bawling while I was running just because I was so sad and depressed.
Yeah,
And I think that's such a common thing that people feel when they first move to New York because even if you know a lot of people in the city, it can feel so isolating and alone.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, as much as we had good times in New York, I think it was a really difficult part of my life too. I was going through
Yeah.
like a weird breakup with
Oh
somebody I'd been
yeah.
with for like 5 years. It was a really toxic relationship. I was depressed for a lot of my time in New York, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, you were just always there for me. I don't know. I feel like you've seen me in my darkest, like lowest, like unkindest points.
Mm,
Um, and you were always there to support me.
mm,
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good memories and a lot of not so great memories. But yeah,
mm,
I think being together was helpful. It's funny though, because the 3 years we were roommates in college,
mm.
we had no issues, like literally
Yeah.
we had no issues. And then
We
living together,
never fought.
never. And then living together, just the two of us, and having to share like cooking, utensils and pots and pans, the bathroom just being the two of us, and just me
Common
not being in
room.
a good place and you being depressed. I think we did butt heads a lot during
Yeah.
that time. But there was never a lack of like love or care for each other.
Mhm.
Um, it was more kind of like side things as opposed to like the center of a relationship, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, we also just like live very differently too.
yeah.
Like I'm just not as clean as you. I'm
Yeah.
more
Well, I'm not very clean either, but you're very
I'm
clean.
messy. And then I really like hosting people and having people over, and I think you needed your space more.
Yeah.
But that was also something like a thing that came up.
Mhm.
Um, Learning how to negotiate living together and how we also invite or don't invite people into our shared space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm
Yeah. I remember we had a yelling match. Do you remember our yelling match when you came to visit me in LA?
Yeah, we were running around in like your high school track, and poor Sophia, our friend from college, was there too while we're running around and started yelling at each other. Our
Yeah.
first like fight where we're yelling at each other. I don't even know what it was about, but I feel like it might have been from our trip to Vegas.
Yeah, I don't remember either. All I
Yeah.
know, so my high school is very Korean, and all
Yeah.
the Korean ajumas go there in the evenings for their walks after dinner, and we were running and just yelling at each other as if nobody else in the world existed.
Almost choked. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think that was the one and only time that we ever like yelled at each other. It's
Yes.
funny because we can't even remember what it was about, but I think we needed to kind of get
Yeah.
it, and then we were fine after that.
We just needed to like let all of the frustrations and whatever out. And it was funny because we were running around the track while we were yelling at each other. So
Yeah,
it's like it was therapeutic because you're like running off the stress and anger.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then meanwhile, like we're running fast, I think, because our friend was like not as fast, or Sophia. We kept running past her while yelling, and poor
Well,
Sophia didn't know what to do with our yelling
yeah.
match.
Well, we were running fast because we were like, getting all the energy out at each
Yeah,
other. We were like sprinting, and poor Sophia was like, guys, are you okay? uh,
poor Sophia.
no, I know.
Oh my gosh.
But I
Yeah.
still look back on those memories so fondly.
How do you think like dealing with conflict in our friendship as roommates in New York and even like what happened back in SoCal at your high school
Mhm.
affects the way you think about conflict now and how you deal with conflict in your relationships with your friends or even with your husband? Do you think it informs that at all?
I think on a subconscious level, it does.
Hmm.
And maybe not even just the conflict between the two of us, but just our differences. We have like
Mm.
fundamental personality differences. Yet like we always show up for each other, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
so I think something that you really taught me again was just being able to express my feelings.
Mm.
And like again, your questions convey to me that my thoughts and my feelings are important
Yeah.
and that you want to know,
Yeah, they
right?
do.
And I
Yeah.
think it's always better to say what you're thinking versus holding it in. And so I
Mm.
think when it comes to conflict, I mean,
Mm.
we all know if you hold it in, it's just
Mm.
going to fester and it's going to
Mm.
come out in all these uncontrollable ways
Mm.
versus when you just, you know, deal with it head on,
Yeah.
it just makes things easier. And I think there's like a mutual love and respect, right? So there's a built-in safety between the two of us that we
Yeah.
can share our thoughts and feelings
Yeah.
honestly,
Mhm.
um, which is an important part too. But yeah, I think with like my husband Jonathan too, we are communicating all the time.
Mm.
And he is also obviously another person who I feel really safe with to just
Yeah.
share what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, it just makes everything better. Just makes everything less heavy.
I feel like it's so interesting that you ended up with your husband, Jonathan, because we joke around that he kind of feels like he's the guy version of me.
Mm,
Because he's like extroverted, loves like being around people, is also assertive and likes advocating. Like he's a lawyer, right?
ambitious, like you
Yeah,
are.
ambitious.
Ambitious, confident, like you are. Yeah. Um, I mean, but that's why we were best friends for so
Yeah,
long because I really needed that, you
yeah,
know, to
yeah,
balance me out. I
yeah.
mean, do you remember that time? I think we visited you in DC, me,
Yeah,
Sophia, and Hung. Do you
yep.
remember what happened on the bus ride? We were going to a restaurant
Hmm.
and it was a crowded bus.
Hmm.
And I think me and Sophia and maybe Hung got on first, and you were kind of like stuck behind a few people. I was saving an empty seat next to me. Do you remember this? I
Hmm.
put my hand down on the seat to save it for you. And this guy came and he grabbed my hand off the seat went like this, put it back into my lap, and then sat down. Do you remember
I
that?
remember that now that you're
Oh my
saying it.
gosh. And I was so shocked. I couldn't believe that the stranger touched me, grabbed my hand, and then you came into the bus. I told you what had happened, and you like made a big scene about it, like in a good way. You were like, this guy just touched my friend. He's not allowed to do that. You went up to the driver, the bus driver, and you were like, there's a guy back there who's harassing us. But like you made a big thing. And like I felt so supported in that moment because I couldn't speak. I was in shock.
In shock.
And like you just spoke for me. I don't
Oh.
really remember what ended up happening with that guy, but we ended up getting off the bus. And I just remember being like, oh, if Grace wasn't there, I would have just, I don't know what I would have done.
Mm.
That was
I
in DC.
remember it all now. Yeah, it was in Old Town. It was like a trolley or a kind of bus thing that would take you from the subway station to
Yeah.
the downtown area of Old Town, Virginia,
Yeah.
like a nice like part of Metro DC. And yeah, that's so interesting.
I actually don't think anyone did anything. I think the bus driver didn't do anything. People
Mm,
on the bus were pretending like they were just
didn't
kind of
see
turning their
it.
heads. And I was like, oh, well, Grace is advocating for me and she has my back.
Wow. You know where I get that from, right?
Where?
Is my mom.
Mm,
So, did I tell you the story of my mom in first grade? When there was like this kid on the bus in Georgia, like he made fun of me. I was sitting in the front seat of the bus, school bus, and he would say like these racial slurs, Asian racial slurs, and say, "Are you mute? Do you speak English? Like go back to your home country." And I would cry and come home and tell my mom, and then my mom dragged me to that kid's house and talked to the mom there, the kid's mom, and said, in her broken English, is like, even though you came to this country a little bit earlier than us, they're like white,
mm,
um, it doesn't mean you can treat us this way. I'm gonna call the cops next time you do this. You better never do it again. And I think I just saw my mom advocate for me time and time and again. Like, even though English isn't her first language, American culture isn't her familiar culture, she's just always advocating. And I was always scared. Like, oh my,
yeah,
stop doing this. Don't
yeah,
make a fuss. I think I learned that like way to advocate for the people I love and care about from my mom. I just saw it all the time around me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, she modeled that for you and you modeled that for me.
Oh, thanks.
We
Yeah.
have a lot of similarities.
Yeah. For better or for worse. It's hard for me to sometimes accept that.
Mhm.
Um, that's so funny because she's actually flying in tonight to New York to spend some time with us.
Staying with you.
Yeah, yeah, staying with us. But yeah, I also learned so much from you too, and learning how to um process things more before I speak,
Mm,
because I'm an external processor, and as much as that can be good sometimes, it isn't always the right time and place to do that, and knowing how to like know when to speak and what to say and being thoughtful and mindful. And so I think that was a gift. And also um I feel like you're gentler than I am, and I think that especially in college and early in New York, I'm just like a little more rougher on the edges, and I just felt like I was a spiky porcupine that like would try to like sting you and spike you if you try to like hurt me or the people I love, versus being a little bit more having more grace and openness.
mm,
Um, and I've also been so like encouraged by your faith in God, and how you've relied on your faith through the years, and been grateful that even though we don't live in the same coast or state, you're in California, I'm in New York, that we can still call each other randomly and pray for each other and support each other. And your faith has really been such an encouragement to me,
mm,
especially in the last 10 years of our friendship where it's just been more challenging as you get older and dealing with more of life's difficulties.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I love that we pray for each other.
Yeah.
Even before we started this podcast, we prayed for each other. Um, yeah, and I love praying for you. I feel like God has given you so many gifts
Oh,
that can really be used for his kingdom. I'm getting teary.
oh,
So yeah, I just feel like I love praying for you because I know that God is using you like every day with everyone you meet, like he's always using you. So
no.
yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. I love
I
you.
love you too. It's such a gift. And like just thinking about like the man that God prepared for you, Jonathan, and your wedding day and being
Mm,
able to be there to support you. And I remember on your wedding day, when Jonathan just when at your first look, like he kept weeping, and I was like, wow, this man really loves Lena. What a gift he is that he gets to spend his life with someone I love and care about,
mm,
Lena. So I just remember that just being so special, seeing you guys come together as husband and wife and building a family.
yeah, yeah. I think he's healed a lot of broken parts of me. Um,
Oh,
so what I remember about our wedding day was I really had to use the bathroom. This was before the ceremony, before the first look.
uh-huh.
Um, and you were like super adamant that Jonathan could not see me before then, but the bathroom was next to the men's suite. And I don't know if there like wasn't a door or something, but it was open and they were all right there. And so you were blocking me like this
Mm.
while I was like, you know, going like this. Like as I was moving, you were following me, and then you were also jumping up and down to
Oh,
block
what
like
is wrong
any
with me? Yeah.
view that he could have
Oh,
until I got into the bathroom. And I
uh.
was like, oh, she really cares about like all of these little things, right? She wants to protect the sacredness of like our first look. Like she doesn't
No.
want anything to mess up my day. Um, yeah, and you were in your bridesmaid's dress with your hair and makeup all done, just jumping, jumping, jumping down the
I don't
hall.
remember that. I'm so glad that's a funny story.
Beautiful moment. Yeah.
It was beautiful. No, that was such a beautiful wedding ceremony and celebration. And I just remember we had so much fun on the dance floor.
Mm,
But even before that, during the ceremony, I remember someone saying Oceans,
yes.
and that's like one of your favorite songs. I was just so moved by the spirit. I just felt like the Holy
Mhm.
Spirit moving as that person sang that song. I think that was that your entrance and bridal entrance song or something.
It wasn't. We did two worship songs in the middle of the
Oh,
ceremony.
during the ceremony. Yeah. That stuck with me. That
Yeah.
that song during your wedding ceremony.
Mhm.
I just felt and then the you had like these white drapes that surrounded the ceremony area outside and the wind was blowing and while Oceans was playing and that person was singing, I was like, I felt like we we were experiencing the
Yeah.
beauty of that song physically around us too, with like the white billowing drapery around
Mhm.
us too. It was just so
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, God was there.
I was so present, yeah. And then fast forwarding much later, because when did you get married? What year was that? Do you-
2014.
2014. So yeah, almost like 10 years later, 9 years later, in 2023, I got married in Seattle. And I
Yeah.
was just so grateful that you could come there with Jonathan and the kids and how we were able to before the ceremony started, like I was in this like our friend's office room because I got married at our friend's home and you were there to pray with me with my brother, my friend Jen, and that to me was an important
Mhm.
moment that I'll never forget. I'm so grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a long journey, I think, for you to find Trevor.
I
You
know.
called me after your first date with him. Do you remember that?
No, what did I say? Can you remind me?
Uh,
Maybe
you were just, you were
maybe
not sure
don't
about
say it.
him. You were not sure about him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there was like an ice cream with a coupon situation.
He used a coupon ice cream on the first date, and I was like,
And
is
you
that
were
a
like,
red
I don't know.
flag?
I don't know. But now you guys are married.
Yeah, I mean, much like you said, Jonathan was such a healing agent for you for all the like pain of like the past heartbreaks. I felt that Trevor, my husband, also was a healing agent for me with past pain from boys,
Mm-hmm.
immature men, and my
Yeah.
immature self being in these like really unhealthy relationships. And I just felt like getting married to Trevor, I experienced more of like God's deep healing love through our relationship and marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trevor's so steady. He's so consistent and like
Yes.
stable.
Yes.
And I feel the same way about Jonathan too. Very consistent and stable. And you and I are kind of like chaotic in our own way.
Yeah.
And I think our partners really ground us.
It to totally ground us. Yeah, I'm just like so grateful. God knew what he was doing when he was bringing our people, our partners to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then seeing you become a mom has just been so interesting. Like how much like you already have so much love, but even more love that you pour out to your children. And they're
Mhm.
so sweet. Like I can tell you're amazing at raising them
I
because
mean,
of how kind and sweet the boys are.
yeah. And
You know?
Kylan loves you.
Oh, I will watch all the shows with him. I had
Yeah,
no
and you would do the Mickey Mouse, what is it, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse dance with him. Yeah. Yeah. My boys are very sweet. I'm very lucky to be their mom. Yeah, they've changed me as a person
problem.
in a lot of different ways. They've grown me and challenged me and pushed me, and they will continue to do all those things.
Mm.
But yeah, it's being a mom to them is like such an honor.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can you share more on like what exactly has it changed about you and grown you and stretched you raising your boys?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm not the most patient person.
Mm.
I think
The
anyone can,
Koreans are pali pali, like impatient
yeah,
people.
yes. And kids are like slow as slugs. Kylan is like to get his shoes on
Oh,
takes him forever because then he'll
oh
just
God.
sit there on the floor,
Um,
grab one shoe, and then start talking about 50 million different things, right? Um, and so I think they've really grown my patience because what I
mm,
always have to remember is when I get upset at them, am
mm.
I getting upset because they are doing something wrong and disobeying me, or am I getting mad because they're doing something that's inconvenient? And a lot
Oh,
just inconvenience, right? So, for example, if they um, knock over their milk, it's like very age appropriate at 4 or 5 to knock over your milk from
yeah,
time to time.
yeah.
But like the anger that comes up of like now I have to spend 2 minutes wiping this all up, right? Like I always have to check myself. And so just even having that moment and clarity to check myself and
Mm,
then to consciously make the decision to be more patient
mm,
has been a huge challenge, but I'm getting better at it. For sure, I'm getting better at it. Um, and also, I'm not one to really share my feelings.
yeah,
It's about me.
yeah.
When I see my kids having big feelings,
Mm,
I'm sitting with them, having a conversation, asking them how they feel,
mm,
why they feel that way.
mm,
I'm sharing how I feel, right? Like I don't know, they're just bringing out sides to me that I always felt like were lacking. Like, oh, I wish I was better at this or this. And I'm like, oh, I actually show up and I am those things for my kids. Uh,
wow.
so yeah, I feel like they
That's,
heal me a lot too.
yeah, I love that they help you express yourself more and
Yeah,
better.
yeah,
Kind of force that on you so that
yeah,
you understand what's going on and then they help you slow down.
yeah.
But how do you then like self-regulate in those like times when you're just frustrated and you feel impatient?
Mhm. Well, I often tell them I have to take a break
Mm,
just leave the situation
Mm,
to my room for like a minute or 2 minutes. Or
mm,
if Jonathan's not traveling and he's home, then I
mm,
tag team him in. He'll
mm.
take care of it. Um, but it's easier to regulate myself with my kids than it is in any other situation.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I definitely explode and
Yeah,
have
yeah.
arguments, but my kids are so forgiving and gracious that
Oh,
I apologize. Because that's the thing, right? Is I think with our parents' generation, they weren't able to do the repair piece. So they would
didn't
scream at
repair. Yeah,
me, like abusive, and then just brush it on the under the rug and be like,
right.
okay, can we eat dinner, and
Yeah,
never have a conversation.
that's
And
true.
so with my kids, it's always about the repair. When I blow up, I apologize. I tell them what I was feeling. I tell them that it's not right for me to talk that way, and I apologize, and they always forgive me. Um,
Wow.
and so I think over time it becomes easier to self-regulate because I don't want to yell at them. I don't want to scream at them. I don't want to lose my cool.
That, I mean, I'm like about to cry just hearing that because I just feel like being able to repair a relationship immediately with your child as a mom is what you said, like not having that with our own parents who are just struggling to make it work and survive as immigrants in the US. Like they weren't taught these tools of how to self-regulate and then repair a relationship. But like it's just I can see why it's healing
Mhm.
to experience that with your children. It's like what you didn't get to have, you're able to have with your own children.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think we know the negative impact, right, of
Yeah,
not having that repair. And
yeah.
I would never want my kids to experience that. And
Mm.
so, yeah, it just is easier. And I think, again, we have the privilege. Like, I have the
Yeah,
privilege of
yeah.
having the time and the
Right,
energy to do the
right.
repair, whereas our parents didn't, because, like you
Yeah.
said, they were just surviving.
Right, right, right. They did the best they could at the
They
time with
did the
what they
best they
had.
could. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have a lot to learn from you as
Yeah.
we go on our own journey
Yeah.
eventually one day.
Yeah.
Um, I'm also just really grateful that like whenever I make a trip out to LA that you make time to spend with me and or Trevor, but like we get some quality time together and I don't take any of that for granted because I know how many demands you have on your schedule and your life and um you don't live in K-Town where I normally go to either, but we find a way to like really like spend quality time together. So I'm just so grateful when we get to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you ever come to LA and you don't call me, I would be upset.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're always one of the few people I always call when I'm in LA.
Yeah. And
I
even
love
if
that.
it's, I think the last time we met,
Yeah.
um,
We went grocery shopping, I think, to H Mart or some kind of Koreatown.
we went grocery shopping. I know we went to a cafe. Did we have a meal together? I,
Oh, maybe that was last fall, but recently when I went to go visit, I came with Trevor and then we went to church with you on
yes,
Sunday and then
yes,
we went to go to this Japanese food court, Mitsuwa.
yes. And then
And
you
then we
guys
went
came
to your
over.
home and then you guys made coffee for us. So we got to
Yeah.
spend a lot of time together as
Yeah.
two couples and the kids.
Yeah. That was fun, it being the four of us,
Yeah.
uh, with Jonathan and Trevor also. But
Yeah.
I remember the time before that,
Yeah.
you were busy. It was
Was so
right
busy.
before, I think it was right before the elections.
It was right before the elections and I was
Yeah.
so stressed out. Like I had stomach issues.
Yeah, we had to go to a Korean pharmacy to get your drink thing.
The herbal drink. I was Chesa. I had major indigestion and sharp pains in my stomach from the stress of
Yeah,
campaigning and politics stuff
right. And then I remember you were also flying out to Georgia
the
from
next day.
LA, so you were just like really tired. But I was driving you to the Line Hotel, I think,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
were on the phone,
Yeah.
just like a work call.
Yeah.
And I just got to hear in on like you as a professional and business owner and just like making moves. That was really cool. I went home and I told Jonathan about it. I was like, she's like assertive. She's like straightforward. She's very professional. Like I respect her so much because I could never do what you do.
Oh,
I hate talking on the phone.
yeah. Oh, thank you for saying that. I just remember just being so stressed out then. But your affirmations are like, it really helps me just, even now, just like stop and think about like the gifts that I do have because I don't really think about it. And
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. I honestly feel like God just made you really special. And
Oh, I feel so seen by you.
yeah, I'm really thankful to have you in my life. Like, yeah, you're stop. Yeah, you are like one of the most formative people in my life for sure. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, just so grateful. Like, and I know that we will be lifelong friends, and so much has brought us here. I mean, we've been friends since 2014. No, not 2014, 2004.
Yeah, it's been more than 20 years.
Oh my God, it's been more than 20 years.
Hmm.
That's a really long friendship.
It is, yeah.
What a gift God has given us from us meeting at Boston College.
Hmm.
And you know what I've been thinking about recently, just being from BC, is like the Pope passing away and
Hmm.
us having gone to like a Jesuit Catholic school and understanding the values of social justice and our Christian faith and just love and kindness and humility and care for each other and the world. And I was like, wow, that is what we were exposed to as we were growing up as really children.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it's really made me reflect on my own faith journey and walk too with the Pope passing away recently.
One of the memories you and I talk about almost every time we get together is that infamous night in New York. It was soon after we got there. It was soon after we moved into our apartment on 62nd or 63rd and 2nd. Oh, 65th and 2nd.
65th and 2nd. Yeah, 65th and
And 2nd. And then we lived on 53rd and 3rd, right?
56th and 3rd,
Oh,
maybe.
56th and 3rd. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a rant. I think it was a Thursday. We went to third floor, just the two of us.
Which is a Korean bar in K-Town in New York.
Yeah. And it was literally just the two of us. I don't even think we stayed out that long, honestly. But somehow we were both really, 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 really trashed.
Yeah.
We managed to get back home.
Yeah.
I passed out on the couch.
Yeah.
I couldn't even change or anything. I just literally passed out.
Yeah.
Then I waked up. It must have been a couple hours later,
Yeah.
and I hear the sound of running water in our
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah.
So I go in there. I'm like, Grace, no response.
Yeah.
Grace, no response. So then I start getting scared.
Yeah.
So I open the shower curtain and you're sitting on the floor. The shower is the water's falling right on top of your head. You're slumped over and you're sleeping. You're just sleeping, just
Passed
sitting
out sleeping.
cross-legged. Yeah. And so much water leaked over the shower onto the floor. It ended up dripping down. There was a hair salon under us. It
Oh,
ended up leaking. The water was leaking and dripping down into our downstairs salon. And we got into big trouble. Like we got
I'm
into
sure we
really
did.
our not landlord, our super
Oh yeah.
stopped me in the hallway and said, he like chastised me, saying, "You guys didn't even go downstairs to apologize after you ruined like, their ceiling." Like we got in trouble. You were not with me. He stopped me when I was coming home from work. And
And
I
then
was
what
like,
do we do?
I don't remember.
I don't
I don't
remember
know if we
either.
did anything about it. This
I
is
think we
why
were
I say we were
scared.
this is why I say we were kids pretending like we were adults. We didn't know what to do. We
Then we'll
should have gone downstairs to apologize. We should
apologize
have made a gift. We should have done something.
to pay for
Um,
something for the water
yeah,
damage.
but no, we just kept moving on.
Oh my God, we were such brats.
Mhm.
We were
We also,
22. Oh my goodness. I'm sure 22 years are more mature now.
yeah, but we also clogged the toilet in that same apartment bathroom. Do you remember that? And we went days. We went like an entire weekend without calling the super. I feel like maybe somebody was visiting one of your friends, and then we were just like peeing on top of whatever was in the toilet that was
That's
clogged
so gross.
for like 3 days.
Ew.
What is wrong with us?
Ew. We're children.
And then the same super who chastised us about the flooding had to come in with one of those big long snake thingies.
Oh no.
And,
Poor
and
guys.
unplug it.
What's wrong with these women?
We were so gross, like, ew.
Ew.
He was probably so happy when we moved out.
Yeah, I'm sure he was relieved. It's like they're creating too much chaos in my building.
Yeah.
God bless him. God,
God
please
bless
forgive
him.
us for that.
Yeah. Oh man. Ugh.
That was
Gross.
a good core memory.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun times. We'll never live that life again. That
No,
was really a once
never.
in a lifetime opportunity for us to live like that in New York.
Yeah. Do you have another core memory?
Road trip. We drove from Boston all the way to LA.
This was
Um,
after we finished our grad school programs in Boston.
yep, I was moving back home and I needed to drive my car across the country. And you did that with me. We did it in like 5 days. We we really only stopped to sleep basically at these really dingy, cheap hotels.
Because we're
Uh,
such poor recent graduates of grad program.
yeah, we had no money. We stopped to see Sophia in Philadelphia for one night. Do you
Uh-huh.
remember that?
Yeah.
And that's when Sophia showed us Lady Gaga's Bad Romance video, music video.
Oh. Wow,
And
yes.
we also had Chinese sausage with rice and sriracha.
Oh, that was so good.
And then we just drove as fast as we could cross country to then Vegas. We stopped in Vegas for a night.
We stopped in St. Louis first and saw the Arch and got barbecue.
Oh, I don't remember
You
that at
remember
all.
that?
No.
Yeah, in Missouri. We have a photo. And then we went to the Grand Canyon. We,
Grand Canyon, yes, I remember that.
yeah.
Okay, so we had some fun. We didn't just drive all the way through.
It was just
Um,
really intense because I think we drove like 8 to 10 hours every single day to
I
drive
think more. And I remember whenever you would drive, I would get really nervous because you would go like
speed.
way past the speeding limit. And
Yeah.
I'm such a rule follower. I'm like, we need to
Yeah.
drive at this pace. And I would get so nervous and anxious. Um, but yeah,
It's from
we,
like Georgia highway driving. Everyone goes like 10, at least 10, 15 over the speed limit.
yeah,
Otherwise, people just pass you. They get frustrated. So it's
yeah.
like,
I drive faster now, but at that time I was like, oh
yeah.
my gosh, we're gonna get pulled over. The police is gonna give
Do
us a
you
ticket.
remember that truck driver that was chasing us down the highway as the sun was setting in like somewhere in middle America and it was super scary? We were getting chased by a truck driver. Like, I
I
don't know
do
why they were
remember
targeting
that.
us.
He was like tailgating us, right?
Tailgating us. It was this big, big truck, like huge one. And we were just in a four door sedan and he was chasing us. Like he wanted to like chase us down.
Yeah. He wanted to scare us, intimidate
Scare
us.
us, intimidate
What
us.
happened after that?
I think we
Pulled
got
out.
off of an exit and then we like went around in circles and like hid. And it was just like really scary because like the sun was setting, it was getting darker, and then this like truck driver was just like tailgating us and scaring us
Mm,
for a while.
yeah.
That was what I remember from the road
Near
trip.
near death experience.
I know. But the reason why we had to drive it so quickly was because I was in Connie's wedding in Long Island.
Yeah,
That's Friday or something like that. And so I had to like fly back from LA to New York quickly. That's why
that's
everything
right.
was so intense and fast.
Mm. Thanks for
Uh,
coming with me.
oh yeah, I'm so glad we had that experience together. It was fun though. I've never done a road trip like cross country.
Yeah.
Never would
And
have
you
had
know
that.
what song was really big while during that time? Because we heard it on the radio like 50 million times. Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe.
Call me maybe. Hey,
Mhm.
I just met you.
Yep.
This is crazy. Oh my God, you have good memories. Wow.
Yeah.
The Lady Gaga song, Bad Romance, and Carly Rae Jepsen. That was 2012. Thanks for sharing this combo and mem walking down memory lane together. We're gonna go into your joy corner, Lena. So things that give you joy that maybe people don't know or think about, but just really make you happy. So now we're going into Lena's joy corner. Lena, please share. What's in your joy corner?
So, reality TV, I'm with you on that. So,
Mhm.
the Real Housewives franchise, I am up to date with all of them,
Wait, what's
basically.
your favorite city? Real
Oh
Housewives
gosh, I
city.
can't choose. I love Atlanta. I love
Mhm.
Beverly Hills. I love Orange County.
Not the
Yeah.
OG New York woman.
I like the OG. I don't like the reboot.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, I love all of them. Yeah.
Mm.
Atlanta, I feel like is really fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
dynamic.
Mhm. And then I don't know if you watch Traders. Have you
No,
heard
but I
of?
hear so much about it.
Okay. So basically, it's like reality TV stars who I grew up watching
Oh,
basically come together to play this game. And
oh,
so even I used to watch like Real World Road Rules Challenge.
uh-huh.
So my favorite people from literally, that was more than 20 years ago. That was when I
Yeah,
was in high school. So
yeah.
those people come on the show and it's just so much fun. Um, so that's one. Another one you already know is singing. I love to sing. I sang in church since I was little. I did Christian a cappella in college. Um, so singing is definitely another one. Jonathan bought me a Korean karaoke machine for Christmas this past
What?
December. So like the same brand, I think is it like KJ or something? The same brand that you see in like norebangs in
Karaoke
K.
rooms? Yeah.
So that's been really fun. Kylan also likes to sing, so we like to do
Oh,
it.
I need
So
to
that's
do that with you next time we
yeah.
visit.
It's definitely not the same because we don't have like the surround sound
Yeah,
stereo,
that's
Mm.
okay. But
but
all the
it's really fun.
songs.
Yeah. And then recently I've been more into like skincare, Korean skincare.
Hmm.
So I'm typically like very frugal,
Mhm.
but you have always encouraged me to like
Spend a
just
little money.
enjoy and
Enjoy
spend
your
some
money.
money. So
Yeah.
I have been taking your advice and doing that. So when I went to Korea this past summer to visit my parents,
Mm.
I went to Olive Young and I bought a bunch of Korean beauty products. So it's been really fun to like try those different things and just spend more time for myself.
Yeah. Is there like a K-beauty product right now that you are obsessed with?
So the ones I bought a lot, but the ones that I would repurchase is the Manyo cleansing oil. It's the yellow one. I
Ooh.
love that cleansing oil so much. Um, I also like it's called Iliune.
Mhm.
Iliune, they have this like ceramide lotion.
Hmm.
Iliune and Aestura have really good lotions.
Hmm.
Um, I like the Tier rice toner. I don't know if you've seen that.
Uh-uh.
Comes in like this really pretty bottle. It's white because it's supposed to be like rice
Oh, interesting.
water. I
Yeah.
love it. So those are the ones that I would purchase. Oh, a sunscreen that I just discovered that I love. It's called the Buzzin'. I think it's called like clear sun filter or something like that. It's SPF 50. Really good for reapplication. Like my skin just drinks it up and then
Oh,
doesn't get oily. It doesn't sit on top of my face.
and
I
it's
love
not
that.
white stuff after?
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have any of that white cast.
Hmm.
Yeah, those are the ones that I would definitely repurchase.
Can you send photos of it? Because I'm going to Korea in a
Oh,
few weeks and I need to, get like especially sunscreen. I want to get really good sunscreen. And the rice toner thing sounds interesting too.
yeah. So I'll send you I have a photo actually of the sunscreen in my phone right now because I
Oh,
was sending it
perfect.
to my friends,
Yeah.
um, who are also into K-beauty, so I'll send that to you.
Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing what's in your joy corner. It's a lot of things that I really enjoy too. And hopefully other people will find
Yeah.
to give them joy. Something we added to season two is also a useless talent show to give us a little bit of joy during a time when it's like a little challenging in our country and the world. So, a talent that you have that has no use at all, but maybe no one knows about you. Lena's useless talent show.
Okay, so I spent a lot of time trying to think of one. I was like, useless talent? I don't know, but I discovered one.
Yeah.
So I can touch my nose with my tongue.
Oh, that's
Apparently, only 10% of the population can do it.
wow. You're very special then. 1 out of 10.
I know, yeah.
Okay, show us.
Yeah, okay. Let's see if you can see it from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do it sideways? Oh, I see it.
Just right at the tip right there.
Yeah. When did you figure out you could do that? That's amazing.
You
I can't
know,
even do that.
I forgot that I could. I think I discovered this a long time ago, and I only rediscovered it as I was thinking right now about the
About to
useless
use this
talent.
talent.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for showing us your useless talent. This is the only place you can share it. So
I
we,
know. That's true. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll show probably Kylan later today when he gets home from school.
Oh, he'll love, and then you can see if he has it too. It might be genetics. I'm so grateful to have you as a friend and just, have this conversation with you and spend some quality time. So thank you, Lena, for being here on the Fighting Club podcast.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It was a lot of fun.
To all of our friends listening,
Fighting!
fighting!